which is a herb that's good for measles and colds, but it's called chickweed. We use that. And phenylalanine, and we use something called vanadilyl sulfate, which is a mineral which helps knock out that sugar craving. But do not take the serving on the label that says take 1 pill 3 times a day. You know right well that's for a healthy person, and you know you sick. So you're going to know you need about 4 3 times a day, straight up. So you're looking at chickweed, phenylalanine, and vanadilyl sulfate. That's just to help control that kind of addiction. But remember, we're talking about the Europeans. So if you're hooked on sugar, you're going to be hooked on alcohol. Because refined carbohydrates make a lot of alcohol. So you're used to a high level of alcohol. You should make 1 drop of alcohol every hour. But when you're eating bleached white flour and white rice, you're making like 3 to 6 drops an hour. That's too much alcohol. The stress in your liver, causing your liver to get hard, which we call cirrhosis. Precipitates the minerals and it stays in there. So we're addicted to 2 things. We're addicted to the chemical we take and the chemical we make. That's the name of the game. If you eat meat, your body's going to make a lot of vinegar, you see. So you're addicted to the chemical you take and the chemical that your body makes. Meat is all right for the Europeans because it makes a lot of ammonia kind of things, you see. Ammonia has a quality of freezing when it's hot and boiling when it's cold. That's why the Europeans, room temperature, they can't deal with this. You come in here and say the room's too cold. That's because you got sugar, and the sugar makes the alcohol from you eating a lot of carbohydrates, but they're making ammonia. So when the room is cold, they're hot. Aside from that, they physiologically haven't arrived to the state of where you are at anyway. As you know, you have the highest growth and development ratio of any race on the planet. You have more melanin in your ears, so you hear more sound. You have more melanin in your eyes, so you see more color. You have more melanin in your taste buds, so you taste the full flavor of food. No other race can do that. You have more melanin in your hair, which gives you more color bands. You have hair, the Europeans have fur. You have evolved to a level of humanism that they are not at. So it's no need of you comparing yourself to them on that level, not on a biochemical level or on some kind of way scientific level. And never argue with them when they're explaining themselves. They say, we have a problem with sex, believe him. Freud said they have a problem with sex. He studied white people, not black. So believe him. So just say it's a missing link between man and ape. Yeah, believe them. It's the white man. Believe him. If there's a missing link, he's it. This is straight up science. As you can see, I get disinvited to a lot of places. You know, even when I was here in Atlanta with the Sugar Hill gang. Oh, y'all know this is the Sugar Hill. I'm not going to talk about the mayor. I'm not going to talk about the former chief of police. And I'm not going to talk about all the rest of them gay people in this town, because I'm a nice person. And they are victims of white supremacy, just like Michael Jackson is and Messy Jesse. Victims of white supremacy, just like Colin Powell, or is that Colin and Bowles? Victims of white supremacy, and that's how I view that. And I don't get all angry with our brothers and sisters, because they need help and we need help. We've got to get out of this thing together. So what we're looking at was when we examine people that are addicted to food, or yourself may be addicted to food, understand that it's on purpose. The food of 1950 is not the food of the year 2000. It's another chemical concoction. Now, you should ask yourself, truth, am I really hungry? Are you really hungry when you eat? Can you tell when you're hungry? Some people's intestines empties too fast, and when it empties too fast, they think they're hungry. Because we go by weight, we don't go by appetite. We say, I feel full. Well, what do you mean you feel full? Can't you tell when you're full? No, they have to say, I think I feel full. Because they're used to a certain amount of weight impacted in their colon, about 15 pounds of manure caked up in their colon. And they go by that weight. And when they don't have that weight in there, they think they're hungry. You can tell someone that's having digestive problems. They're either belching or farting. Or if they're doing both, they may blow their brains out. I don't know. Now you ask yourself, justice. It's what you're doing with this food serving justice. How does my food choice weigh against the question I just answered? Am I really hungry? See, you're applying ma'at, because we have to get out of this mess that we're in. And we have to make sure we're using a military kind of logic. Everything is to make us more powerful. Your objective is not to be more ma'at. Your objective is not to be sovereign, to have sovereignty. Your objective is to have power, to rule this earth. That's military thinking. Everything is directed to the ruling of the earth, because if the black man don't rule this earth, it ain't going to be no earth. Our objective is to rule the planet Earth, not to have more money, not to have more black colleges, but to rule. See, when you're thinking you want a better college, you're thinking social science. No, you want power to rule this planet Earth. That's what you want. That's how the Europeans think, whatever they call thinking, because actually they process information. Thinking is totally different from processing information, but that's another lecture. In any case, righteousness. Is the food worthy of God's creation, my body? Do you think what you're eating is righteous? Does it really make sense? If I were to give you a hamburger and tell you to put the hamburger in a bowl of milk and eat it, would you do it? Does that really make sense? You say, no, I wouldn't do that. Suppose I changed the milk to cheese. Would you do it? See? If it didn't make sense, it didn't make sense. Now why all of a sudden it makes sense? That's because you're crazy. That's why it makes sense. Does this food work in unity with my goal of optimal health? You say, wait a minute. Does what I'm doing really make sense? Now, I know God knows what God is doing. Can we agree on that? Okay. Now, if God wanted salt on the tomato, God would have put more salt in the tomato. So why is it every time God makes something, you say something wrong with it? Put some salt on this, some pepper on this. Get a grip. Everything that God made is something wrong once you put it on your plate. Everything. There's sugar in the milk. There's sugar in the milk. There's sugar in the processed corn oil in the store. Even the perfumes that we like have to smell sweet or we don't like it. And we don't see that we're addicted to sugar. The perfumes have to smell sweet even. We're so addicted to sugar. So everything has to be changed that God likes. Everything. That's because we have a slave and master relationship with food. We do. See, food is your slave. Food is supposed to serve you, give you nutrition, give you energy. Food is my slave. Sex is my slave. Sex is supposed to give me an orgasm, give me pleasure. Where do we get the slave and master idea from? Why is food a slave? Why is sex a slave? Where do we get the slave and master idea from? Why does everything have to be processed? Why do they have to take the whole wheat and change it to white flour? Why does everything have to be processed? Why do you have to make everything into a Clarence Thomas? Why is everything processed? You know a processed African is a Negro. You know that. There's nothing more processed than a Negro. The food's processed, we are processed. Slave and master, slave, everything. We apply it to food, we apply it to our relationship. Where did we learn this slave and master stuff from? Look at here. I'm going to process some whole wheat. I'm going to take this whole wheat and I'm going to take it to a factory. And the factories has machines in there that duplicate your kidney, your liver, your pancreas, small intestines, large intestines. Or I'll take some sugar cane to the factory. The factory is going to eat the sugar cane. The factory is going to eat the whole wheat. And when it finished eating the whole wheat in the sugar cane, we call it a processed food. A processed food is a bowel movement, by definition. If you eat an orange, your intestines, liver, pancreas is going to process that orange, and what comes out is a totally processed food known as a bowel movement. Hey, so if you go to the store and you buy bleached white flour, you buy white sugar, what